I'm taking this opportunity since I'm by myself again. Oh, shoot. 1 second. Hold on. All right. I'm going to take this opportunity. Now the fan wants to work. To share the story that I was going to share before. I was going to do a live yesterday between 2 and 3. But, there we go. But life would have it, it decided to snow. The snow really just stopped like just now. It snowed all yesterday. It wasn't heavy, but it was consistent. So there's a lot of snow to get rid of. There's the snow trucks and the salt trucks are all out there. Anyway, so the story is this, all right? One of the stories, there's a few. But one of the stories that they didn't want me to share is when I was in my early 20s. Was I in my early 20s? Yes. When I was in my early 20s, I think I just had Charisse. I just had my daughter. And it was just me and her. And my focus was trying to raise her. Like I was a broken vessel, but every time I had a child, I had a new zeal or like enthusiasm about living, to aspire to be better, to do great things, in spite of what people told me about what I could accomplish or what I could do. 1 second, let me see. So at this point, is that right? Yeah. I was in nursing, and then I decided I wasn't going to stay in nursing because I wanted to be around to raise my daughter. I didn't want anyone else to have an impact on my daughter more than I did. This light is too much. Hold on. Okay, so I went into psychology to be a counselor. I didn't know where I was going to work, but I knew I wanted to counsel people. I wanted to help people. And probably because of what I had gone through. So one day in the summer, cause either if I'm working or so whatever would have it, whether it be while I'm working or while I was in school, I always had summers off. So one summer, I was outside doing something, and okay, I'm doing this wrong. Let me backtrack. There was a time that we had a neighbor across the street from the house I'm in right with my mom right now, my family right now. Across the street, there was a neighbor. They were another couple of color, and they befriended our family. So we used to go across the street, share stuff, whatever else. They were our neighbors that we communicated with. They had this woman and her husband had 2 children together, but she also had a daughter from a previous relationship. This beautiful, she was pretty. Anyway, one day the news would come that she had gone to a club. The pretty daughter, the older one from the previous relationship, had gone to a club, and somebody hit her. Some guy from Detroit drove up on the sidewalk. I guess they were kind of congregating outside the club, and he hit her with the car and killed her. After that, this woman had a breakdown. She had a job, but she had a breakdown. She appeared to have a breakdown, and they all moved to some big house in some part that was not as developed as the area that we're living in now. She moved into a big house. She was able to, she's living, but she consistently put out this part that she was like broken from this loss. So she was always like walking around depressed. It just seemed really forced to me, but I can't speak to that. Anyway, I can't remember how long after that, my mom was over there. It was her, the lady who lost her daughter, her husband, my mother, and some guy were sitting on their porch talking. The husband and wife from that family were on one side, and my mom and this other gentleman on the other side. I've never seen this man before. Never seen him before. But they were talking for a while, and they were looking over at the house, right? And me, remember, I'm naive. I don't know, they could be saying that's my daughter, whatever, I don't know. Anyway, shortly after that, they got married. My mom announced that she was getting married, and to this guy that we've never seen before. And she had dated. When we got older, she didn't date when we were younger, but when we got older, she started to date. And this guy was not, I couldn't understand, none of us could understand why. I think at this point I had gotten pregnant with my second daughter. And I was, when they got married, I think I was due 2 months later. So I was almost due to have this child. Anyway, they got married. I supported my mom because I thought, like, she knows what she's doing. She's a grown woman. But my two other siblings, my brother and my sister, were upset. They were like, what is happening? Like, why are you marrying this man? We don't even know him. Anyway, the reason why this is significant is because the warfare in my life right now, first of all, that marriage, there was no love in it. From the start, they bickered all the time. He claims to be a Christian. He claims to be a Christian, but he practices witchcraft all the time. All the time. So that's another reason, a confirmation for me why I know the church is full of people who practice witchcraft, because this gentleman practices witchcraft and it's directed at me. At some point during this time when they got married, okay, during this walk I was walking, this whole big revelation of what's happening spiritually speaking, who really governs what's happening around us, gaslighting, astral projection, all these spiritual terms I learned. Good morning. I ran into, okay, there's so many parts to this. So every time I went somewhere, this husband, my mom's husband, who I'll never claim as a father, would know where I was. Like, he seemed to know where I was all the time, like, which means like he somehow had he was governed by a monitoring spirit, and I seemed to be the target. He has been so disrespectful of my walk and my relationship with God. He's always pronouncing that he's so godly and so righteous, but he's so arrogant and so pompous. So always projecting how much people love him, how much people respect him. Anyway, what I believe, what the Lord has revealed to me, and there's other things probably going on as well. What the Lord has revealed to me is somehow he was put into my life because he has been known to be someone who's very connected spiritually into dark arts. And I was a target. And the reason why I believe this is because there was a young lady, a woman that I grew up with, I was at some point friends with, who, when I was going through my walk, she must have been aware, and a lot of people must have been aware that there must have been a target on me. She saw me walking, and I got into her car. We were talking, and she said to me that my mom, I don't know if she told her or announced that she was never for me anyway. My mom was never for me anyway. So I'm like, I remember I've told you, if you haven't heard before, I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to say this. I may have to say this again. Whenever I get information and it doesn't make sense, I always file it. I file it away so that I know it's going to be significant later on. So what I believe is that somehow I was sacrificed. I was sacrificed for something, for some kind of something, either money or it can't be position, because no one really cares about position. What's position going to do for you? But I know for sure that my mom has a lot of talk about money, about wanting to be rich. If I have this kind of money, if I had this, if I had that. That being said, though, I always said, even before this became what it is, this big whole ordeal, I always said that the Lord said in his word that vengeance is his. Vengeance is his, and he will repay. So my life has always been that I don't look to take vengeance out on anybody else. It may seem weak to people, but it's not. It's just, I trust God enough and I trust the word enough to know that if I, as mean and as cruel and as vindictive as people are, as greedy as they are, as selfish as they are, I can still love on people and know that God sees more than I can see. He sees more than I can see, and he will deal with my enemies. So if anyone's asking, why does she seem so calm? Why does she seem so unbothered? Because to me, I don't even know who really is for me and who's not. I don't know. I know a lot of people who should be for me are not, but a lot of people can be bought. If there's money out there to be divvied out so that people will do a thing, they will. Everyone is going through something. No one wants to suffer. If someone's being offered funds to do something, I'm sure in everyone's minds in my life, I'm a nothing, right? I'm disposable, right? Even for my children, I'm disposable because they were pulled away from me at a time where they needed me. So they had to learn to be independent. They had to learn how to look about themselves without me. So really, I have no value to them besides just the title that they have, right? So if someone comes into their position, offering funds to betray me, they will. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have a gift to be able to kind of read people. There's been a swift change in the dynamics in my life, and God is dealing with people. I said this before, and I warned people, and people are so silly. If you go to the Word, the Word will tell you what's going on, will tell you what the Lord's going to do. The Word will tell you what the Lord's going to do. But what's been happening, what I've come to an understanding of, is that people are losing their lives. People are getting sick. People are having loved ones that are getting sick or losing loved ones. And I warned everybody about this. I warned people about this on social media. There's videos on this channel that are, when I looked much younger, saying that this is going to happen. But because in people's minds, I'm a nobody, and they're listening to pastors who do not share the whole word, they're deciding that they're going to continue to project, continue to try and curse and hex. So at this point, if there's a funeral to go to, I won't be there. All right. I really will not be there because these are self-inflicted wounds. Just like if the Lord reveals to me who people are and I continue to engage them, those are self-inflicted. Whatever I go through is my own fault. Right. So what decisions you see me making now are based on what God is revealing to me is true. And he refers me back to scripture that confirms to me that either I'm on the right track or I need to back up. Because I don't have to fight for what is rightfully mine. Okay, God will deal with that. And no one should be wanting, it's called covetousness. No one should be wanting what does not belong to them. That's straight what it is. That is called covetousness. And out of the 10, if you're going to ignore the whole Bible and just go to the 10 Commandments, you can get a whole bunch of do's, do nots in that. A lot about demonic family altars. And okay, I'm gonna Google that apostle. I'm gonna Google apostle is he African? Is this apostle African? Well, this is the thing. What I've learned so far about spiritual warfare, witchcraft, what people can do in the spiritual realm, the Lord taught me. Everything I've learned, the Lord has taught me. There's no pastor that can take accountability or take responsibility or take credit for what I've learned. Nigerian, yeah. I have real deep concerns about people from Africa. And this is not about I believe we all people of color are descendants of Africa, right? My issue is this: I met a slew, I would say about 7 people from Ghana, from Ghana, who profess to be Christian, up and down, sideways, bless you, hallelujah, Jesus, Jesus, all kinds of stuff, and were my biggest targets. They targeted me. Most of the attacks that happened in my life came from them. So, and I know that the foundation of our existence is in Africa. So I know the foundation of spiritual warfare, witchcraft, miracles, everything else is from there. So I know that people from like me from the West Indies were removed from their ancestral foundation. So a lot of what we knew, spiritually speaking, was taken from us, was removed from us. We were kind of and we can be, we were kind of programmed to believe a wishy-washy idea of our existence and what's true about who we are and what we can do. Well, I'll look into him, but I've had people, it seems like people whoever has been chosen, there's many who were called and didn't heed the calling. I have a daughter who I know who had prophetic dreams, and she chose to jump ship because, okay, let me tell you a little something about myself. I had children out of wedlock, and it wasn't because I was thirsty or provocative or promiscuous. It was because I was targeted. The gentlemen's, all the gentlemen, of the three, I have had children with three gentlemen, and all of them practice witchcraft. All of them are coming from a line of people who practice witchcraft. Like I know, I can, in my mind, I'm envisioning, there's a woman that, one of the mothers, all three, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well, I know for sure two of them, they all practice witchcraft. They all practice witchcraft, but I didn't know anything about witchcraft until this walk. And then so I always professed that I believed, and I believe, that my children should have a relationship with their fathers and decide whether or not they want to be involved in their life. I should never be the one to say, oh, your dads are this, or your dads are that. I laid with them. The children are here. So I always promoted, if the fathers were available and wanted to be in their lives, that they would be in their lives. That being said, that when they were young and needed help, financial help, emotional assistance, help with school, these fathers weren't there. I did it all by myself. I did it all on my own. I poured into these kids and made sure that they had the funds that they needed to do things so that they didn't suffer. Now, mind you, two of the fathers I took to court, and when we were young, and they paid very little at the time because they didn't really have an established career. When they became more established, I chose not to go back to court with them because I felt as though the men that I do know who had to go to court were bitter. Some of them had been incarcerated for not supporting their children. And when things changed and they didn't have the funds to pay, the court still expected them to pay the funds that they were paying initially. So I said, for the sake of the relationship with my daughters and their fathers, that I would not, I would not seek more support. I would try and figure it out on my own. That still didn't change. It still didn't change these men and how they interacted with my daughters. So a lot of their upbringing was just me and them, just me and my girls doing stuff, taking trips. I didn't have a chance to really travel with them because the funds weren't there, but we did a lot of local things. I took them when I was going to university. Sometimes I'd take them with me. So I didn't want them to have fear and feel that anything was too much for them to be a part of. So I took them to university with me when I went. So they'd come with me into the classes. I would take them on trips the same way I would do with my students at work. I would take them with trips with me. Or I would go to trips. I go to their school. So I take a time off work and I would go to advocate for them at school, their presentations, their awards, all that kind of stuff. I would go. I was very much involved in their lives. Now that they're grown and they can actually drive and they can take care of themselves, now the fathers are actively involved. And what I believe is that the fathers have made my daughters aware that they have these dark arts, that they can practice these things. And of course, in a time where Wicked is popular, Harry Potter is popular, Twilight, which was one of the first things that I think are demonic that was glorified, is popular. So now what I believe to be true, and I'm going to ask for God, Lord, to confirm. I'm pretty sure this is what it is, because the Lord is the one who led me to understand this, is that my daughters have been offered something, and they are part of this attempt at my life, because all these attempts to take me out have not worked, because the Lord has a purpose for my life. And I'm saying this because I want everyone who's on this platform watching me, who sees me and wonders, what am I doing? No, I'm not bothered. I can't be bothered, because the purpose of, I've had more than half of an existence being prepared for this. This is what I was born for. This is what I was designed for. So and for those of you who are wanting to be me, please, you have not gone through, if you could know what it took for me to be at this place, you wouldn't want to be me. You wouldn't want to be me, because I still have wounds I've had to heal from because of what I've had to endure. It has not been a pleasant walk. And we've all had things happen to us. We all have. But too much is given, much is required. And let me tell you, I know what's coming is big, because I've had so much betrayal, so much enemies based on nothing. I don't even know people that don't like me. Some of them that don't like me, I don't even know them. I've had brief encounters with them, and they want to claim they know so much about me. It's absolutely lunacy. I sit back and I'm thinking, I lose sleep over this. Not necessarily because it's bothering me, but because I'm always trying to figure out, what is the sense in this? But if you're getting funds, I can understand that. What would make anyone think that getting funds based on the loss of someone's life is going to be a blessing? How could you feel blessed based on money that was like blood money? How that young girl who her life was taken, her mother went to church. Her mother was a Christian. So I'm gonna, because during this, I just find this whole thing, I hope this all made sense, the way I was sharing this. Yeah, it's hurtful. It's hurtful, but then I go to the word, right? I go to the word for my foundation, because, okay, the enemy has created this illusion of what normal is, okay? So we look on TV and we see mother-daughter, father-son, we see the dog, we see the home, and we see, and generally that's how ideally you would want it to be. This whole, anything on TV, I just dismiss, okay? Because when you look at the Bible, you have families where a husband would die and his brother would marry the wife, or you have daughters who have relations with their father, see their father. You have brothers who betray their brother, right? Sell him to slave. There's so much in the Bible that tells you that what we see as being normal is not normal. The dysfunction you see is really what's normal. That's really what we should be expecting. And we should be warring against these things. We should be trusting God to get us through these things. Instead of people trusting God to get through these things, they pacify their life. They want to drink. They want to have X. They want to smoke weed, and all this stuff now is legalized. There's not much you can do that really is going to numb your mind or pacify you that you can't get at the corner store. I could go into one plaza area right here and get weed, get alcohol, and get food. And if I wanted to, I could probably get SEX too. Right? No one wants to deal with their pain. People want to just be pacified. Once you deal with the pain, you heal. But when you pacify the pain, once you stop using the stuff you're using, it comes back. Okay? So what you see me doing right now is dealing with the pain, letting it go, and moving on. You could take a clue and do the same. Instead of trying to hurt people. Any money you get and waste on whatever you're doing is not going to make you feel better. As a matter of fact, you probably will be cursed. That's a heads up for you. For those of you who are practicing witchcraft, those of you actually taking it upon yourself to delve into the spiritual aspects of what witchcraft entails, beware and be warned that you're going to start losing stuff if you haven't already. This is not me. This is the word. And I'm speaking, the Lord said, vengeance is his. He will repay. I don't have to do a thing. Right now, I'm trying to stay focused on being positive, loving on myself. And if I find myself falling back and feeling a little bit sad about it, because it is sad, I refer to the scripture that reminds me of why this is happening, why I'm going through this. It's disheartening. Like many people, like our society has, not only with emotional, but when we are sick, I believe that anything that happens with us that's not, that takes us away from our natural state is spiritual. And I'm including physical sickness. Why do I say that? Because there's been an attack against my physical body. Okay, whatever they do, they're trying to have me believe that it's just a natural course of life, that getting older means that you're going to have a limp. I'm going to have a gangster lean or something like that. It doesn't. And the reason why I know it's not that way is because when I leave the house I'm in right now and I go to a place where they don't assume I'm going to be, um, the pain that I'm experiencing in the leg goes away. It's not consistent. It comes and goes. Any kind of sickness you have is not going to come and go. It's going to be consistent. So I know it's a projected pain that I'm experiencing, that I have been experiencing. People will say things around me and dropping hints or trying to, it's, I don't know what it's called when you say something to try and get people to believe a certain thing. So this gentleman my mom married, sometimes I'll walk into the room, he'll be either he's pretending to be on the phone or he's on the phone, and he's saying things like, oh, arthritis this, arthritis that. Well, arthritis is not a muscle thing. Arthritis is a bone, a joint thing. And then I think to myself, now I know why God put me in nursing. Now I know why God put me in psychology. Now I know why God had me learning this. Now I know why God had me. My daughters have their foundation was me, because they're not going to get any godly counsel from the people that are around them right now. There's no godliness in the people that are surrounding them right now, and everyone seems to profess God. All these people are saying God, 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 and none of them, their fruits are so rotten. They're cruel, they're mean, they're disrespectful. They have alliances outside of they have no loyalty. They have no respect. They're just, and then they expect respect in return. It's absolute insanity. It's absolute insanity. And they turn on each other. If you don't serve their purpose, they'll try and take you out. It's almost like people are dispensable. This is how I really know that we're at the end of the stage, for sure. Let's see. Yeah, it made me stronger for sure. It absolutely made me stronger. And this is the thing. I'll tell you what, when this whole walk just started, when I was a much weaker person, the Lord came to me. He revealed himself to me. First of all, before that, I always knew God. I always had a relationship with him because my parents instilled that in us. But there's a time I was invited to a baby dedication, and the worship team, I guess, was anointed, because when the church was packed that day, it was summer, and I just had my one daughter. When they started to sing, oh my, it was like the Holy Spirit came in and said, I'm just going to pour out on you. It was like, and I talked about this on TikTok, it was like someone poured warm cream or honey, just warm, not hot, warm, almost a little bit warmer than my physical body, all over me. But I wasn't sticky and I wasn't dirty. And from that day on, that was my church. Kept going back there because I wanted that same feeling again. But what I didn't know is I could have had that experience in the forest. That was the Lord just, calling me. And that he pulls that away. That's the initial, like, almost like milk. Like, it's like when you're a baby, you get breast milk or milk. But then eventually you have to start seeking him. You have to start doing the work and getting to know him. So, but when he pulled himself away, I thought that he had left. I had no one to counsel me, so I had no one to tell me what's what. So I went back into the world. Thinking that, I'm a heathen, that God had left me, blah, blah, blah. But really what it was is that he was pulling himself away so that I would seek him more. I would worship more. I would read the word more, etc., etc. Anyway, I don't know what the Lord's going to do with what's happening in my life right now, but I know that lives are at stake. And I pray over my girls, because if there's any hatred towards me from my own children, it has nothing to do with me. And it could have been that the Lord used me as a vessel to bring them here, and they were always meant to be against me for whatever reason. What it's supposed to do in me, I don't know. But all I know is that I am a stronger vessel. I'm much stronger. I am much emotionally, physically, spiritually stronger than I was before. And I am sad about it though, because I have this this notion, especially growing up in the country that I'm living in right now, about the idea of family, what that's supposed to look like. You do Christmas, you do, Thanksgiving, everyone gets together, people buy each other gifts, blah 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 blah. Pure and utter nonsense. Pure and utter nonsense. I've been led to kind of take myself away from those practices because they're pagan anyway. But this year it was so easy to say I'm not going. I'm not going to a dinner. I'm not going to Christmas. Da, da, da. It was just so easy because I'm not fake. I don't pretend. I don't play games. Also, when my walk started, the Lord led me to understand that what is for me will be for me. So as much as people are trying to do all the stuff that they're doing, the Lord already showed me the end for years ago. And he didn't tell me what it was going to be like. He didn't tell me it was going to be all this. And I thought that I would have the certain people that I had in mind that would be with me at the end of this. But it's apparent that they're not going to be. So that's one part of the story. There's a few other stories that I shared in that live that was deleted that I will share separately. But here I am, surviving. I will tell you that the children's fathers, I had opportunities, and they could deny it, but they'd be lying if they did. I could have been married to all of them, each of them. But, and it's just something to do with them as people, but something in me, something seriously heavy in me told me, don't do it. And I don't know why, to the point of being sick, to my stomach. So when there's one time I really came close to getting married, there was a pastor even involved, like we were kind of talking to and getting counsel from. And I accepted the proposal, but it never gets passed to a ring or the proposal, because the Lord always says, no, this is not it. So I know I'm supposed to be married. I know that I'm supposed to have a husband. I just don't know all the details of it yet, because everything just seems like God has me in a cocoon right now. I'm isolated and kind of like working on myself right now. At some point I thought I was preparing myself for a husband, and now I think I'm just in a process of healing, because the Lord, in a godly relationship, the Lord doesn't want there to be he wants the God ordained marriages that are happening right now to be a reflection of him. And if you're bringing garbage or baggage from whatever you had in the past, those relationships are not going to work. Okay, there is something to be said about the God-ordained, chosen marriages that God is putting together right now. So I'm using this time to really hear his voice and for him to let me know what is what for real. Because I know for sure God is not about games. He's not about godly marriages would never be about hurting, not about cheating, not about disrespect, nothing could interfere with a godly or God-ordained marriage. Not a thing. I know God revealed this to me a long time ago. And so then I realized I knew why I didn't get married before. And it wasn't easy to not be married before, because image-wise, I'm having these children and I'm not getting married. Right? So I have a child, I'm in these situationships or relationships, they don't work, and then I end up raising that child. Then I meet someone who sees me with the children, they see I'm a great person, great mom, they think, oh, this would be a great relationship, but they're not looking for a relationship, they're looking for someone to take care of them. And the cycle kept repeating itself. So now, I'm chilling. I am so chilling, because I know my worth now. I know why people hate me. I don't want to be you. I don't know why you'd want to be me. You don't know what it took for me to come from where I'm coming from to be here. You have no idea. The people who are here watching me and hating, you are not sensible. Something's wrong with your mind, because you have no idea what it took me to get here. You have no one's ever asked, like, all these things are happening around me. No one's asking me any questions. People think they know me, and no one's asking questions. No one's. I'm having no dialogue with anyone. This is the biggest amount of dialogue I'm having with the platform. Everyone's making assumptions. No one knows what's true, and everyone's assuming. And that's why you guys are losing. That's why people are losing their health. That's why people are losing their life, and that's why people are not going to get what they think they're going to get. Because you're not seeking out the Lord. You're not serving him anyway, and it's already been written what's going to happen. You can't change that, unfortunately for you. Silly. You're just hurting yourself. And every time something happens, more people want to get upset with me. And I'm just sitting there thinking, at one point I was like, what's happening? Like, it's almost like I'm sitting there thinking, what is happening? They do stuff to me. I didn't even realize what's happening. It backfires. And then they think, oh, it's her or it's me. Yeah, it's me, but it's not me doing it. It's you doing it to me, and the consequence of doing it to me. I can't change what God has ordained. I can't change what was designed or put in motion before I was born. This is a deal that happened before I was born. This is what I'm coming to understand. And I can't change it. And as painful as it feels now, sometimes I feel like I want to back out. Whatever, I don't know what deal I made. I don't know what happened. But I sometimes I feel like this isn't worth it. But you know what? They say new levels, new devils. So I guess I'm at the level right now where I'm seeing all the talk about these higher level people who don't have to abide by rules, who can rewrite rules, who can change rules, who can manipulate documentation and court documentation and do all kinds of stuff to make things seem a certain way. Don't worry. That's what you think you have power, but the thing is, all I have to do is sit back and let God do what he's doing. That's all. That's all. And if you know this, if the pastors out there, the preachers out there, and the priests out there that were reading the word, interpreting it the way they need to interpret it, then people who chose to dabble in both, pretend to go to church and be holy, and then are practicing witchcraft, they would choose better. They would make better choices. But of course, the church is not preaching or teaching what they should be preaching and teaching. People are just pretentious. They go up there and they pretend to be holy. Oh, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Blessed brother. How are you? And there's the meanest, cruelest, most selfish people I've ever seen in my life. One thing I will say, if anyone knows, I don't know what it means or what happens when you exchange bodily fluid with someone. Like if someone ingests saliva or blood or urine. But there seems to be, even though these people profess to be Christian and to be clean, there's some gross interactions or swapping out of like fluids from the bodily fluids that I'm concerned about. So this is kind of why, I think this is why the Lord led me to not eat meat and to not eat cooked food. Because the people in my life they want to be around when I'm cooking something. They always they don't want to help me anyway. They don't want to offer me. They don't want me to be on my situation. They don't want to give me what's owed to me, but they want to offer me food. I'm constantly being offered food. I don't want any more food from anybody. I honestly do not. I want for God's purpose and plan for everyone to come to fruition. That's what I want. Yes, I'm praying for spiritual friends and family. That's what I'm praying for. I've come to understand that it's okay. I can let go of anything. Anything that's not for me, I don't want. I don't want anything that doesn't belong to me. I don't want anything that belongs to somebody else. I don't want anything because really and truly, I'll give you a story. When I was younger, I had a girlfriend. We all used to work in retail, right? And I used to have friends that would be like, yeah, like, they're going to have people come in and take from the store. It's bad, but this is what it is. Anyway, nothing that anyone ever got from those situations ever felt good. It doesn't feel good to wear something that was stolen. It doesn't feel good to eat something that was taken. Unless you're starving, even when you're starving, if you're like homeless and starving, it still doesn't feel good, but you need to eat, right? No one wants anything that way. So I'm saying that to say that I don't want anything that doesn't belong to me. I'm not trying to steal someone's anything. And that's how people are moving and that's how they feel. That's so be it. But that's not what I'm not about that. And for all these people who are, how many generations of practicing witches and warlocks, good luck to you. Because this is the end of the age and God is dealing with all that stuff, which means the enemy is using you. He knows that all the things he's promising you is not going to come to fruition. And all you're going to do is lose stuff. Either your life, your health, or whatever else. There's no way you're going to prosper. I don't care who's promising you what. And the thing that's getting me the most is the people who are at the helm of all this stuff were the biggest bullies, the biggest creeps, the biggest, the most promiscuous girls or women in the group of the people that I used to know. These are the ones, now that we're all grown and doing our thing, who are at the helm, who are running this, because they're using magic. So they feel all powerful, all knowing, and all righteous. It's so disgusting. So sad. Anyway, that wasn't even where I was going to go with this, but the Holy Spirit was leading me. So that story about how my mom and my stepdad got together, yeah. Now I understand why he's the way he is. Sometimes, and I'll tell you one thing before I go, because I'm going to go now. What time is it? Wow, 41 minutes. Now that I know that they can astral project, they can astral travel, and they can they monitor and eavesdrop. I in a home where there's no one there that's for me really right now. And so I run every day, but when I have to go and shower, I feel I've had to, but imagine this, okay? If I was a exotic dancer or a prostitute or something, it would be different. Like I'd be used to always be walking around naked, etc., etc. But I believe that this vessel is meant to be for my God ordained. He can have his way with me, whoever my husband is gonna be, right? But in relations to right now, I feel like a lot of people have seen me exposed because they can astral project into your space. There's one time I got up out of bed and there was all these leaves, like I had been walking outside, all these leaves, like these like broken like leaves on the bed. Like it was around fall at that time. Like I had been walking through a forest, and I was like, and if the reason why this is, I know this is spiritual, and I must have either I had been taken somewhere and brought back, or someone, I don't know what happened. All I know is that when I was thinking about it, like I remember I'm in the household, I don't talk to really anyone. And so I'm thinking this thing. So when I'm thinking this thing, the people around me are obviously aware this is what I'm thinking, and you could see the smile on this man's face, like he knew what had happened that night. Anyway, I am so tired. I need to get sleep. I haven't slept well. There's a lot on my mind, as you can see. And I'm going to continue to trust God in all this. I just really wish that the Lord would give me some peace to not, like, I'm a thinker. I like to figure stuff out. Some peace to be able to sleep a full, like, set of hours so that I can, it's so obvious. You can see in my face, like, right now I'm tired. I'll get, like, maybe 5 hours sleep right now. I'll go sleep, and then I'll look totally different. I know I'm pooped. I'm so tired. Today, I dropped off my daughter, and the guy that she's opening with, asked me, how you doing? I said, pooped. Right away, I said, I need sleep. I'm exhausted. So anyway, I'm going to go get that done right now, because I could run, but they're cleaning up there's salt trucks and snow everywhere. So I am not going to compete with that right now. I'm going to get some rest. But I just want to let you know that there's a few other stories to share about how I got to this place, like the players that were involved in what's going on with me. I'll tell you this right now. If you're going to pick a partner, right now, if you're a believer, if you're going to pick a partner who you know is mean to everybody but you, trust and believe. If you find out that he's done something or he's into something that you can't swallow, or he's treated you a way that you need to get out of the situation, believe me, you will have an enemy for life. You will have an enemy for life. These people do not, like, I went on with my life and not knowing that these people still had issue with me. They were able to go out there and get married, have relationships, do whatever, and still are so focused on what's happening with me. Why? I'm just like my mom. There's so many things I don't understand. And obviously it's spiritual. Obviously. But still kind of confusing. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I thank you. And for those of you who are watching and hoping to be, you don't want if you're asking for what I have, you're gonna have to go through what I went through. And believe me when I tell you this, look at my face. You're not gonna want it. Do what you like, but let me tell you something. It has been the rockiest walk or journey you will ever experience. When I have a chance to share my testimony fully, you're silly to want to be in someone's shoes. You don't even know what it took to be me. Silly. It's the silliest thing. Anyway, I want to let you go. Remember, you guys are loved by the Lord. He foreknew you. Before your mother's womb, he knew you. And you're a special generation of people. All right, guys. Like the video if you're for me. If you're not, then please go. What do you want? What are you here for? My God, it's ridiculous. Look at the squirrels. Oh my gosh, I'm attracting squirrels. There's so many out here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't have any food for you. Wow. I'm attracting squirrels. Oh my God. Hold on. You can see him. There's one here and there's one over there. Good morning. Go find food because I don't have any for you. I'm sorry, Beeps. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Look at him. You look chubby. Someone's feeding you. Go get food. Bye. Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? Look at this. Can you see him? Oh my God. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning. Bye. What? This is not AI, by the way. My daughters always say, Mom, that's AI. This is definitely not AI. They're all over the place. Wow. Did you ever watch that movie Enchanted? Where all these animals, not the cartoon, but the one where the real girl with the red hair, I think she's so beautiful. She was in a house. This guy must have found her somewhere and brought her to her home, and she wanted to clean up the house, so she called all these animals, birds, butterflies, bugs, everything. Like, there's squirrels all around me. Sweetheart, what are you doing? I don't have food for you. What is it? Wow. Oh my God. Bye. Bye, sweet. Oh, it's coming back. You see? Oh, you see him? You want to be on Look. Hi, sweetie. Oh my God. That's incredible. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't have food. If I don't have food for him, so I'm gonna for her. I don't want to run you over. All right, I'm gone. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Love you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe I have to bring squirrel. What do squirrels eat? Look at them all. What is happening to? I'm out. I'm kind of creeped out a little bit. A little bit scary. I guess they assume I have food. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, 5, 6. What is happening? Funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe not today. I don't know. I'm tired. I want to see how the day goes. Get some sleep. You never know, right? I'm exhausted. Wow. Woo. All right, guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Love you. Love you.